Hello there, Jonah Taylor here. My wife Jen Taylor of
Hello.
Tailored Properties. And so today we were just talking in the car here about the top things that we look for when we're buying a house, a distressed property. What are the things that we look for? And so I thought that would actually be a great video. Why not help tell other people what are the things that we're looking for when we come to a property? And so that's going to be the topic today. So Jen, we'll start with you. When you come up to a property and you're wondering whether this is going to be a flip or this isn't going to work as a flip, what's one thing that comes to mind that you have to have in that flip?
I think the first thing, because obviously we're always seeing the properties first online, so we see them pop up on
Sure.
Zillow or the MLS or wherever we see them. I look at the school district because, believe it or not, and I don't think that a lot of either first-time flippers or even flippers in general pay attention to it, but you could have, I call it, it's an invisible line. You can be in one school district and your house be worth $200,000, and you can go to the next school district and your house is worth $400,000. So I think school district is a huge determining factor for me.
I think that's a big one, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because otherwise I don't think people look at that too often. That's probably like an afterthought. First they need to know, do the numbers work? Hey, does it, is it the worst house in the best neighborhood? And who's thinking about schools? But honestly, we've seen it plenty of times where it looks like a steal of a deal and you're wondering, why has no one bought this? And then digging upon a little bit, you realize it's in a terrible school district and it's not worth the same amount.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, when you're comping out your houses, you're going within a mile radius. Well, you could have two different school districts within that 1 mile radius. So, if you're not paying attention to that, you could be comping your house against houses in a different school district, and then all of a sudden you're
Big
going to
mistake.
Settlement and you've made a huge mistake and your house isn't going to be worth half of what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake. I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's a big deal, for sure. And can be the difference between you making a lot of money and you losing money on a deal.
Right.
Schools, who would have thought? What's the other one that we were talking about that we're always looking for, or at least aware of when we look for our properties?
So the other thing I look for, seeing the houses and actually going to them in person, is layout potential. So a lot of the times when you're walking into these distressed houses, they're built in the 40s, 50s, even 20s, and they can be very compartmentalized or have rooms that don't necessarily make sense. But what I look for is their ability to be changed. So, is it load bearing? Can we take it down? Does it need to stay? Can this room be turned into an office? Can it be turned into a bedroom? Can it be turned into X, Y, or Z?
Yeah.
So I'm always looking to see how I can make the floor plan more modern for today's buyer versus a buyer back in the 50s. So
I guess to sum it up, like future layout, what can the future layout be of this home?
Correct.
Yeah. Which is another one too, because you walk in and really what you have to have is vision. You have to be able to see without,
The flow.
Yeah, without being able to do much in your mind, how this house is going to look. And remember, you're doing all this just upon a walkthrough, and because you might not have a lot of time before you got to offer on this house and lock it up,
Right.
So you want to flip houses, listen to Jen, and pay attention to the schools. It could be the difference between $100,000 and losing
no grand.
10. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's Tailored Properties. We're out.